The way you film matters. I like to hold the gimbal with two hands. The more points of contact you have, the more stable it's gonna be. For sure, some shots make more sense to have one hand when you're doing some crazy like low angle shots or crazy movements. But when I can, I'm getting two hands on the gimbal. The other thing is I wanna limit the amount of different movements I put into each shot. Instead of doing something like a push forward and then a pan, I like to divide all my shots into singular movements for each different shot. So if you do want to show that scene and then that scene, rather break it up into two different shots and do one push forward, end the shot, and then one slide or pan. But mixing them together gives a kind of weird feeling of someone kind of just standing around and like filming the different things that they see that are interesting. Break them up into individual points of interest, get one singular direction of movement for each shot and separate them. And that's not to say that you can't incorporate different moves in one single direction. I could definitely do like a pan down and push forward, but it's more about not doing like a push forward and then doing like a pan, or like a push forward and then pulling back. Divide them up into one continuous single thing for each shot within each one of the things that you're filming. Let's talk about some movement and some of my favorite shots I like to get when using a gimbal. I like to get some follow shots where I simply match the speed of my subject and follow them from behind. You could also do this from the front, but it gives this really nice feeling of everything rushing past with that beautiful smooth shot. You can pair this with something like a side tracking shot where you again match the subject's speed moving along, keeping them in the back third of that frame to give them some nose room and really get a beautiful shot of them going sideways, again with that background rushing past them. Another one I really like to do is like a wraparound vortex style shot. You can get down low. I think it gives a more grand feeling of the person being in this like cool area or something, and you can simply just wrap around them, making this really cool effect of this like parallax background moving really fast past them in the background. Having something like the extendable pole could help you do something like a really cool crane shot that looks like it might have been really hard to film or hard to capture, but in reality, we captured it with ease on a gimbal and an extendable pole. One of the most important things is to take note of depth. Instead of getting a shot like this to reveal these buildings, it's okay, it looks kind of boring, like it would work. But by simply moving slightly to the side and introducing some foreground to create more depth by using this tree, a bit more of the banister in this bicycle, look at the difference between these two shots. The second one is so much more dynamic and has so much more depth to it, simply by taking a few steps to the side and incorporating some of that foreground into my shot.